everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a necklace using products from the June edition of the Bargain Bead Box. So the theme this month was Navigator. If you're not familiar with Bargain Bead Box, it is a monthly beading subscription box. You get between $65 and $70 worth of beading supplies, beads, findings, just charms, you'll see, stuff like that. For $17.98 a month, shipped directly to your door. It's a great subscription box, and they've had some issues lately with some shipping delays and stuff, but I know from experience running a small business that is not their fault, so I'm not blaming them for that. But anyway, we're going to make something from the box this month. Now, I have about 3 years worth of unboxings on a playlist on my YouTube, so if you want to check that out. And if you want to subscribe, I have a coupon code, Wendy2, that will get you $2 off of your first box. They also offer a 30% off coupon code to people who subscribe to the box to use in their sister store, Bead Box Bargains, and you can use that over and over all month long. They have great prices, and then you get 30% off, so that's a great deal. I've got some hauls that I'm getting ready to upload. I was waiting to see if my other order came today. If it does, I'm going to combine a couple. So anyway, this coupon code would also get you $2 off in their store if you don't want to subscribe to the box. Okay, so here's what you're going to need if you want to make what I am going to make today. So we're going to be making a multi-layer necklace. I wanted to use this compass piece. I really thought this was cute. Now, a lot of people complain because it doesn't actually work. I mean, it spins, but I don't think it actually points to where you're the correct direction. But I mean, come on, how often do you carry a compass with you? I mean, do you really need a working compass? I mean, come on. I don't think that we do that too often in this day and age. So this is purely decorative in my opinion. And I heard people say too that it was too small, but yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I think it's beautiful. I cannot imagine wanting to wear a compass that was very big. So yeah, we're going to use it in this necklace. It's going to be really pretty. We're using that. We're using some of the 6mm lapis beads. Whoops, these are falling off the strand. We're using some of these indigo rondelles. I think these are so pretty, you guys. They are so dark blue. It's just a gorgeous shade of blue. And they remind me of spinel because they are so dark. They're just really pretty. And then we're using some of these English cut crystals, which I love as well. We're going to use this lapis pendant. Okay, and we're going to use some of the silver spacers that they had in the box this month. We're going to be using 2 of the toggle rings. We're not using the bars, just the rings, and a lobster claw clasp. We will need some crimp beads, and I believe 6 clamshell covers. And these are available on my website if you don't have any. I've got them in a bunch of different colors. You're going to need jump rings, and then you're going to need some chain. So I'm going to be using the Rolo chain that they included in the box this month. That's this right here. And then I'm going to be using several lengths of Coriana chain. That's this. This is chain that you can bead directly on. It's 0.6mm. I love it, and we're going to be using it today as well. It's also on my website if you want some of it, and it's in a bunch of different colors too. Okay, and then you're going to need your beading tools, of course, your jewelry tools. So get everything together. Let me clear this up a little bit, and we will go right ahead and get started. So let me move these things out of the way. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to take our rings. Now, this necklace, let me preface this by saying I want the compass to hang high up right around my collarbone, okay? So this is not going to be a really low multi-strand necklace, not like opera length or anything like that, at least at the top. Now, we may go a little lower with some of the bottom strands, but the top strand I want to be very short, okay? So the first thing that we need to do is we need to get all of our strands hooked onto these rings. And then we can decide how long we want to make the chain that goes up and clasps in the back. But the most important thing right now is going to be getting the chains on the rings, okay, in the right length. So, like I said, I want this top one to be very short. I don't want it to be much lower than my collarbone. So I'm not going to make this Coriana chain extremely long, because I don't want it to be, I don't want it to be very long. So I'm going to measure this out, and I'm going to say probably about 8 inches is where I'm going to cut this. Actually, no, I'm going to cut it about 7. Yeah, I'm going to cut this about 7 inches. Okay, so right like this. And I know that looks really short, but like I said, I want it to be really short, and I want it's going to have the clamshell connector here too, so that's going to give it a little bit of extra length. So you have to like account for that. Okay, so then you need to figure out the design. So I know I want my compass to be up here, so it's going to hang like this, and it's going to have a little dangle hanging from it. Then what do I want to go underneath it? So I know that I want several other layers of the Coriana chain on this. I want it to be a multi-layered thing, but I'm not going to bead it up really a whole lot. I'm going to keep it pretty simple, okay? Because I don't want a lot of what I call clutter. Really is not the best word, but I don't want a lot of stuff going on. I want it to be simple. So I'm thinking a piece of Coriana chain here, and I'm going to put the beads on this layer right here. Okay, then I think I'm going to do a layer of this chain just because I want the variety of it in my necklace. It's going to be up here too, so I want a little bit of it down here. And then I'm going to take a longer piece of the Coriana chain, and I'm going to put down here at the bottom, and we're going to hang the pendant from it. So let me cut these pieces. So this one, I know I want it to hang probably right about here. And this is how I do my multi-strand necklaces. I lay them out on the table, just like if I were wearing it, and I just measure them and I cut them accordingly. It's the easiest way I found to do it. So this one, let's see what this one comes out to be. I'm saying it's going to be about 12. Yeah, it's right at 12 inches, okay? So that one's 12 inches. Then I'm going to do my piece of Rolo chain. So let me get this straightened back up. And this usually, I've got to say, this usually really works out for me when I measure this way. It just does. I don't know why. Okay. So those two need to be even. Okay, now let's look at this one. So I want this one to hang a little lower than the other two. So we're going to go probably right about here. Whoops. I'm getting everything tangled up. Yeah, probably right about here. So let me cut this one, and I'll measure it. Tell you how long it is. Okay, so this chain, we're looking at 12, just about 15.5 inches on this one. Okay, and then for the last piece, let me scoot some of this stuff up. For the very last piece, I want it to hang a little bit low, lower than definitely lower than all the rest of them, but I want it to go kind of long, and it's going to have the pendant piece on it. So let me lay this out like I want it to go. Okay, probably right about there. Cut it. And I will give you the measurement of this one. So this one, we've got about 12. Let's see. 19, 20, 21, 22.5 inches on this one. Okay? So those are the lengths of our chain. And then we'll measure this when we get to it. We're not even to that right now. We're not even going to fool with that one right now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hook our top piece on here. Now, let me scoot these down a little. So we're in frame. Okay, you're going to need some jump rings, a couple jump rings. I like to use the smallest jump rings I can get away with, but this ring is a little thick, so it's going to have to be a little bit bigger of a jump ring. So I'm probably going to go with these here. They're about 8 millimeters, I believe. Maybe they're 6. 6 or 8. Do I have millimeters on this? No, I don't. Okay, so I don't know. I would say about, I think they're, well, here's a 6 millimeter bead. And they're probably 7. They're just a little bit bigger than that 6 millimeter bead. So anyway, they will fit on here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take our clamshell covers here and our crimps. Pour those out. Get my glasses on. I could tell something was not right. That's it. All right, and we're going to take a clamshell cover. We're going to feed our chain right up through it. And we're going to put a crimp on. Now, you don't have to crimp these pretty because they're not going to show. Their clamshell is going to cover it. I crimp it down. These are 2mm crimps. I crimp it down to where it's fairly tight, but it's not going to cut my chain. I mean, if you press this like so hard, it's going to cut your chain, and you don't want that. But you want it tight. So I just crimp it down to where it's tight, not cutting my chain, and then I'm just going to close this clamshell cover up. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. And I'm not going to put any beads on this layer. I just want the compass to hang on this, okay? So I thought this compass was really cool, and I don't have anything like it, so I'm actually going to keep this for myself and wear this little compass. I thought it was really kind of cool. A really cool little accent piece. A lot of people complained about it, but I don't know. People were just really gripey about this month's box, and I thought I just didn't see it. I think it's pretty. I think it has a lot of really cool components in it. I think it had a great amount of beads, and nice beads too. So yeah, I don't know. People are grouchy these days. All right, so do I really want to use that big of a jump ring? I think I may go a little bit smaller if I can. I think that'll work. Let me try this one. Just a little bit smaller. And because I don't want it to be huge, we're just going to attach this to the ring. Now, if this jump ring won't work, I'll have to go bigger, but I think it might. Let me see here. Grab a hold of that. And I think it's, whoa, I think it's going to work. It's a little tough to get closed, but I really don't want to use that huge one if I don't have to. So let me just play with this a second. I mean, I'm not worried about it coming off the ring. Clearly, that's not going to fit through that little, but the clamshell cover may. So let me just make sure I get it closed up good and then see if it has movement, and it does. And if you can see, the clamshell cover did come out, so I'm going to have to put that back. The woes of live filming, or of filming. Okay, there we go. Now let me see if I can get it closed again. All right. I think that size jump ring is going to work. Yeah, and that is definitely a 6mm jump ring. But when I went to close that, I knocked my compass off the table. There we go. All right, so let's put the other one on. Hopefully I can do that a little more gracefully than I did that one. Yeah. Okay. And it needs closed just a bit more to keep that clamshell. There we go. Okay. So here's our first layer. Now I'm going to hang my compass directly on this with a jump ring. And I'm going to make a little dangle right here to hang on it. Oh, I didn't say that you needed head pins. You are going to need a couple of head pins. I'm sorry. I didn't even grab my head pins, so I'll have to get them too. Okay, so let's go ahead and just close this up. And make sure that it's closed up good, so I don't want to lose this. Yeah, okay. So here we go. There is our compass and our little rings, and let me grab a head pin. Okay, and what we're going to do with this head pin is we're going to make a little dangle. I know I want to use one of these hex cut, or yeah, these English cut crystals. I think these are so pretty and would definitely add some sparkle right there. My question is, do I want to put one of these on either side of it? Because I am really trying to keep this simple. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to leave it with just the hex cut bead. It's really pretty, just on its own and sparkly. Okay, so I'm going to make a loop here. I'm just going to fold this at a 90-degree angle, bend it at a 90-degree angle. You want to make sure you get these bent really good. If you want a sharp angle, it makes your loop come out better. And then I'm going to cut this. And I'm going to use my round nose pliers, which, where are they? Huh. Well, that's odd. I've lost a bunch of my pliers. They're scattered in who knows where places. I'm going to have to like take a day and just clean everything up. I've got messes everywhere. Projects, half finished stuff. Yeah, it's bad. Okay, there we go. So there's our little dangle, and I'm just going to hang it right from the compass with its own little ring. I'm not going to use a jump ring to connect them. I'm just going to hang it right like this. Okay, super cute. All right, so there that is. That's our first layer. Now our second layer is going to hang a little below, and it's going to have some beads on here. Not a huge amount of beads. I'm really don't want a big bunch of stuff on there. Just a few. So I'm going to go ahead and finish one end of it. So I'm going to put my clamshell cover on. And then I'm going to add my crimp. Same as before. Crimp this closed. Pull this up, give it a tug, make sure it's secure. Close it. Okay? Now we're going to do some beading on here. Now what I need to decide is, do I want to put a crimp bead to keep my beads from floating so they just stay in the middle? And I think I do. I really do think I do. So let me lay this out better. I'm going to lay this like this. I'm going to spread it out a little because I think actually it's going to be up closer to the top of my body, so it's probably going to be spread out quite a bit like this, okay? And then this one will hang below it. So I want, those are even, right? Okay, so I want my beads to kind of just be in the middle section here. I don't want a whole lot. So I'm just going to eyeball this. You don't have to. If you want to measure, you can measure. I don't want to measure because, I mean, it's going to be not that hard to figure out how this needs to go. So just laying it out here. And I think I'm going to start them right about there. And I'm just going to give that bead just a little crimp. Not roughly at all, okay? Just a slight crimp, because all it needs to do is stop the beads from moving on your chain. It doesn't need to be tight. You just don't want it sliding around is all, is what I'm saying. And you can cover this with a crimp bead cover if you want. It seems like I have gotten a defective one though. It's lopsided or something. So let's put a different one on there. I don't know what was wrong with that one. It was kind of thin and acting strange. Okay, so yeah, I'm going right about here. Yeah, this one's much better. I don't know what was wrong with that one. Just crimp it down. Okay, so it's not moving. And it's going to keep your beads kind of hanging right in the middle. And then I'm just going to throw some beads on here. Let's see what we want to use. I love these. I definitely want to have a few of these sparkly guys. They're so pretty. Let me get them off. They had these twisted on this wire in such a bizarre way, I thought. Okay. That they're really kind of hard to, you have to cut them off. There we go. So there's a few of those. I did want to use some of these lapis beads. Okay. And then some of these little guys here. So let me get these crimps out of the way. We're not going to use them for a minute. And some of the silver beads. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a one of these little rondelles, put it on. Then I'm going to do a lapis bead. Silver bead. Lapis bead. Hex cut. Or English cut. I keep wanting to call them hex cut. Okay. Then we'll do another rondelle. Another lapis. Ooh, that's a pretty one right there. Another silver bead. One more lapis. I'm really not doing a pattern or anything. I'm just kind of, but that's about the middle. So I need to go back up the other side, right about that amount. So let's see. I think I will do a pattern back up the other side just to make it even. So let's do this. Whoops. This little rondelle bead. Oh, for heaven's sakes, get on there. Some of their holes are bigger than others. Most of them go on pretty easily. And then the English cut. Another lapis bead. The silver bead. Another lapis bead. And the little rondelle. If I can find the hole. There we go. Okay, so that should be pretty much even. Yeah, when I hang it on here. Okay, and then I'm going to do a crimp bead on the other end. Now, I'm very careful when I put these crimp beads on not to make this super tight. You want it, they're just basically to keep the beads from floating all over your chain. But you don't want them to be, you know, I don't want this pressed down really tight, this section. I want it to have a little movement. So I just put a crimp bead on the other side. See, it can slide just, and it can bend. It's not too tight. And then we're going to hook it on. So I will take a lobster, or I always call these lobsters every time, a clamshell. Goodness. Get on there. My crimp bead. And I'm just going to go ahead and crimp it down. Okay, and pull my clamshell up. Close it up. And I'm just going to attach it with a jump ring. Okay. Is that the same size jump ring as I've got over here? Don't know. Hold on, let me make sure. So let's use this one and this one. Those two. Yeah. Just want to make sure I have the same one and not, my jump rings are all mixed together in one container. Okay. We're going to hook it right on. And same thing on the other side. Okay, so there's our second layer. Just like this. Yeah, I like this. It's pretty. All right, now I wonder if it would look good to put a layer right in here, actually, just a, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to do this next one. This is my next layer. It's going to go right under that one. And I'm not going to hook anything on here. I'm just actually going to hook the chain to the ring. Not doing anything special on this one I just want it in here to tie this together when we get up to the top. And because I think it kind of gives it the nautical look. I do like this chain looks nautical to me. Okay, so let's put that one on. Same thing on the other side, super quick and simple. We'll put this one on. Okay. All right, there it is. Okay, so here's what we've got so far. Now we're going to do our little bit longer layer of the Coriana chain, and this one's going to hang our pendant. Okay, so that's this one right here. Whoops. And again, I want this one to be kind of longer. Let me make sure it doesn't look too much longer than this last one I put on, because that would be kind of weird. I don't think it does though. I think it's okay. I may cut I'm just going to cut maybe 1.5 to 2 inches off of it, just so it's not wildly long. Okay. All right, same thing. Clamshell cover. Oh, that one doesn't have a hole in it. How weird. Okay, clamshell cover. Crimp bead. Just close this crimp this crimp. Make sure it's tight. Okay, close it up. Same thing on the other side. Now I debated doing some beads on either side of this guy, just to tie it in, and I could just do a couple beads there, and actually that would probably look really good. So let me I think I may do the English cut beads just on either side here, one of each of those, and one of each of these little, yeah, that would be pretty. Okay, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put one on here, and I'm not going to worry with crimping these in place because there's only 4 of them. So they're not going to be floating too much, I don't think. So we'll do these 2. I think that'll be cute, and it'll just kind of tie the layers in together a little bit better. So I'm just putting 2 English cut beads on. I'm putting a rondelle, English cut, rondelle, and I'm going to hang this pendant in the middle of them. So let me go ahead and do my other clamshell cover and crimp. Okay, just like that. Close it up. And we're just going to hook these again to our rings up here, okay? Let me try to get everything untangled. I've got things tangled up here. Okay, as long as I get it, I want to make sure that it goes on underneath this chain on the outside of it. Make sure I'm on screen. Okay. Some jump rings. Let me find a couple jump rings that will work. The 6mm seems to work pretty good. And there's one. And here's one. Okay. And we're just going to hook this on same way. Okay, right there. I'll just hang it right from the outside here. Okay, just like that. Same thing on the other side. Okay, and this is our necklace pretty much. So let's go ahead and hook our pendant. It's just going to hang right in the middle of those 2. I should have just put it on. I don't know why I didn't, but we're going to put it on with a jump ring because I didn't. So just a small jump ring. Yeah, I'm not sure what I was thinking there. I should have just hung it right on the chain. I mean, it had a bail. I didn't do it. Okay, there we go. It's okay though. It doesn't really matter. All right, looking good. Okay, now we're gonna finish it up at the top. So I'm gonna hold this up on me, and you need to hold it up on you, and you need to see where you want it to hang, okay? Because my collarbone is where I want that. I'm really kind of specific about that, where I want that to go. So I'm going to take this chain here, and I'm going to measure from the back of my neck to my collarbone. I don't know how far that is. We're going to find out right now. Okay, so the back of my neck to my collarbone is about this far. How long is that? Where's my... I had a ruler. Here we go. Okay, back of my neck to my collarbone is about 8 inches, 7 3/4. So I'm going to cut it about, I'm going to go about 7. Because like I said, I don't want it to be too long, and we're going to have a lobster clasp and all that. And I will put a slight bit of an extender on there too, just to make sure that I can clasp it if I want it to go lower or higher. So we're just going to cut these even, these 2 chains even, and that's going to be our sides of our necklace. Now, if you wanted, you could do like a little link here. I thought about that. Thought about doing like a little beaded link right up right here, but I don't want to. I want to keep it pretty simple, I think. So I'm just going to take this chain. I'm going to find 2 tiny jump rings. These are like 4mm. And I'm going to hook this right onto the chain with my little 4mm jump rings. Okay. So let's do that. And this is a small, I mean, you don't have to worry. I just opened that jump ring really wide, but I didn't have to, because that's, I was thinking I was back on the bottom of the loop here where it's really this part where it's thick. I was not. Okay. There we go. There's one side. Let's do the other side here. Where's my other chain? Did I hook the wrong chain onto there? What did I do? What the heck did I do? I did. I hooked the wrong piece of chain on here. Oh my goodness. I swear, you guys, I'm like, I woke up this morning. Let me fix this. I woke up this morning at like 7:45 or 7 something. I don't know. And I was still so tired. I was like, oh my gosh. I got up. I tried to make myself get up and tried to make myself be functional, and it just didn't happen. So I laid back down on the couch, and Chris was like, I'm going to take an Egg McMuffin to my parents. He said, I'll come back for you. Just get some more rest. So I did. I slept till 9:30, which is unheard of for me. I mean, I don't do that. So I'm still kind of tired. I don't know what's up with me. Alrighty, so there we go. We've got our necklace. Hold it up to yourself. Make sure that you've got it where you want it to be. And I think I do. Oh Lord, somebody's at the door. Hold on. Okay guys, I'm sorry. Somebody came to our door. I guess there's a lost dog in the neighborhood, and it's clearly not mine. Mine is the one barking her head off. But yeah, anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to hook our lobster claw on. And I'm going to get a fairly decent sized ring here to hook, because I want to put an extender on this as well. Let me make sure this lobster, whoops, will hook into this chain. If not, I may have to get a different one for it. Yeah, it's a little big. So let me grab an extender. Okay, so this is another Rolo chain, but it's just slightly bigger than this one. If you can see, the difference in the links are just barely, but it fits the lobster, so we're going to use it. So I'm just going to open this up. I'm going to put my extender on and my chain, my regular chain on. I'm going to close this back. Okay, and then I'm just going to hook my lobster claw on with a jump ring. Okay, right here. Making sure I'm hooking the correct the correct chain to this, because I'm telling you, it's been a day. Okay, and so here we have it. Now I am going to make a little dangle to put on the back of this. I like to do these. I think they're cute on extender. And I think I'm just going to do, see if one of these little, yeah, I'm going to do one of these little rondelles, the hex cup bead, and another little rondelle, just like that. And I'm just going to make a little dangle to put on here. Very easy. Just adds a little extra flair to it. I don't know that anyone will ever even see it with me, because I have long hair, and I don't really wear my hair back much, but we're just going to put this right on here and close it up. And there's our little necklace. Let me put it on a form and I'll be right back to show it to you. Okay guys, so here is our finished piece. Now, I'm backing way up. Please excuse the mess in the background. I need to straighten up, obviously. But yeah, I like this. I think it turned out really well. And that is exactly how it will hang on my body, pretty much. I have it pulled up a little bit further on the form just so you could see the whole thing, like the whole bottom and everything. But it would hang just slightly lower than that on me. But I really like it. I think it turned out really pretty, and I think it's a great little use of this compass, which, like I said, I loved it. I loved the compass. I thought it was really cute. I don't understand everybody's complaints. I mean, come on. How often do you carry a compass for navigational purposes? If you do, I am impressed with you. But anyway, I think this turned out great, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will put the links for Bargain Bead Box in the description box below, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!